Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my chess channel. Today we're looking at a study which is pretty hard to crack, I think. We are one pawn up as white, but our king is far away from the action. We have a pawn here, and of course, both are going upwards. We need to promote one of these to win. Obviously, we cannot win with just the knight. Problem is, if we push this pawn, it's going to be taken by either pawn or king. And this pawn cannot be pushed at all because we are blocking it with our knight. But anyway, we have somehow a way to win this. So you should pause your video now, have a look at this on your own, and see if you can find the right solution on how white wins. Go ahead. Okay, welcome back. So, just to show, we cannot do a random king move. Try to get this one closer. Black will simply take our pawn here on e5, and we cannot get this one promoted. If we try to move our knight and give way now, it's just not good enough. The king comes here, and he will catch up with us, and even if we don't push the pawn, he will come here and we got nothing. No, so we have to move something else. And of course, this cannot be moved, and this is just pointless to sacrifice. So we need to move our knight. And we got three possible squares to move it to. Let's take them one by one. This looks like a pretty good move. We are blocking these three squares and making way for the pawn to promote without the king being able to reach it. But it's just not good enough because there's a bishop here also that wants to be involved. Black will play bishop d4, and we cannot stop him from taking here unless we move the knight maybe to this place. But black doesn't have to take. He can simply attack our pawn then, and now we got nothing. Maybe he attacks our bishop and then he sacrifices it and something like this. And of course, we are not winning. Even with knight up, it's not good enough because a single knight will not win. Okay, back to from the start. So, knight to f8 wasn't good enough. This is more interesting. It also makes way for the pawn, and on f6 it blocks this diagonal, so it could be interesting. Black only has one move in order not to lose right away. That's king g6. But it turns out this is good enough. Now he is attacking here, and we cannot really do anything about that. I mean, the king is just too far away. He will take our pawn, and he can sacrifice on this one and get his king closer. Nah, nothing more than that. This is not good enough. Okay, so what's left then is the sacrifice, of course. The knight to g5. We see pretty soon that it's not a sacrifice really. We cannot take it, obviously. Then, I mean, if black takes it, he cannot do it. We will get the queen, so it's a pretty good sacrifice. Black needs to play again king g6, the best possible defense. Let's look what happens if it doesn't. If he plays something like bishop d4, try to take here and cover down here. Well, then we can take this pawn. We are covering here and also threatening to just push this pawn quick. Something like this can happen. But now we are winning. We are not in a rush here. Uh, we we must move this pawn first, obviously. Otherwise, he will just sacrifice on it and then take this one. But from here, now, these two are monsters. Black can do something. Maybe put this bishop here. Looks like he's covering everything with this and also the king here. But basically, he cannot do anything. He cannot take this one, and he cannot take this pawn. So now we can simply move our king in a timely manner, and black cannot do anything. If you try something like this, well, what are we doing then? We can play the king to d5. and we cover here. If we tried like to do it before, like this, instead of playing the bishop to f6, then we would just push the pawn and it's unstoppable. So it might look good for black to play bishop d4, but it's just too slow. We are threatening to take this pawn here, so black needs to come up here to cover the h7 square. Okay, so far so good. Now it's our turn again, and again there's only one move here for white that wins. Can you see it? Well, it's not pushing the pawn. It might look pretty good, but this is not winning, because black will play the king to g7, uh, guarding this h8 square. And if we now try to take here, obviously he cannot take it, but he will take the pawn instead. And there's plenty of time now for black to come here and stop this pawn. He has this bishop that will get involved. Let's look at something like this. Maybe we'll try to get our king better. This is not coming anywhere. The king is too good. The bishop will get involved, can play it up here. Well, you got many different options to get around. Maybe not there and sack it, but this is not winning for us. Okay, so we cannot win by play h7. Instead, we need to do the sacrifice again. This is a very good sacrifice. The pawn is now gone, so there's no obstacles for this pawn, and there are no obstacles for this pawn. And the knight guards both of them, as it is right now. Okay, so the natural response would of course be for black to take here. But let's just look what happens if it doesn't. If it tries now, something like this, that we looked at before, bishop d4 to get that one more involved, then it transforms to the same position as we looked at, h6, and again these pawns are very, very strong, and we looked at this before. White is winning. Okay, so let's go for the take then. It takes our pawn. How are we winning with these two? Our king is pretty good here. It stops the bishop from coming to c5 to protect f8. But of course, we must watch out for the bishop to d4. But we don't have time to stop that. This will just be too slow. He can play, I think... No, he should move this. First, bishop comes to h2 to attack here. That's the right one. And if we guard it, he will simply sacrifice. And this is a draw. So instead, we need to push faster. After he takes, we just attack. h7. Be quick with our pawns before the bishop can get involved. Black has, of course, to play now king g7 to stop this pawn and attacking it at the same time. And we cannot promote. This is too slow. Black will be able to come back and stop it. But we don't have to move this pawn. We move this one. We know that two pawns with two empty files between will beat the king. The question is, can we beat the king with the bishop, even though it's off guard a little bit? Yes, we can. Okay, so obviously black cannot take here. Then this pawn will promote and win. So what black will do in this position is to play bishop d4. He's not planning to take our pawn. He's planning to move the king closer to this pawn. If we push this one, then it can go even here. Covers this one, this diagonal with his bishop, and he will take this. So we cannot move this pawn. That will be a draw. What do we do instead? Do we attack the bishop? No, that's not good enough either. He can play bishop to f6 then. Now it's gonna stop this one and it will take here. So we cannot move the king either. Now we have to lure away the king with a promotion. Get a queen here with a check. And of course, if he moves the king, he will lose bishop in the game. So he's forced to take. And then, even though the bishop is more in the central of the game, it doesn't matter. Because this pawn is unstoppable. It will be a queen. And we will win in the next few moves. We would like to win in the next move because black should resign when we promote. But anyway, we don't have to look more at that. This is winning from the beginning. We had a pretty cool starting position, and we needed to sacrifice the knight one time here and then one time there. And in the end, this is a beautiful win for white, and I hope you found it all the way, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.